morning. It's Friday, August 18th. And this morning I want to talk about another one of Mother Nature's evil events. And this is the event that is taking place in Canada. The wildfires in Canada, which have been going on a long time. And do you know how many wildfires there are in Canada? I was just assuming it's a big blaze somewhere. 1 or 2 or 3 maybe. 237 wildfires are going on in Canada. And Canada has a population of about 40 million people. And they have a lot of open space. A lot of open space that has to be taken care of. And it's impossible. It's impossible. If you have Mother Nature striking in 237 different places at the same time, and that's affecting the air quality in the northern parts of the United States. It's so bad that the sky has turned an ominous red color. Imagine that. A bright red sky. And Canadian officials have ordered evacuations. And they've declared a state of emergency because the city, the capital city of Yellowknife, has been threatened. And right now there's a warning for the people who live in Minnesota. So Minnesota is part of what they call the Northeast U.S. And once again there are air alerts because of the dense smoke that is continuing to travel south into our country from the raging Canadian wildfires, those 237 fires. And the air quality has the potential to reach something that they call the purple, or the very unhealthy category for humans and for all kinds of creatures. This is not a human issue only. Everybody who's living in that part of the world, every creature who's living in that part of the world, is affected by this very purple, unhealthy air. And you know, air is affected by the currents and the winds and everything. So they're really not sure how long this purple air is going to stay in Minnesota. Now, I've been to Minnesota. I've been to Minneapolis. And they're not used to this kind of stuff. When I was there, it was the end of March. It was spring. But it was still cold, and the road was so icy that there was a 37-car pileup on the major highway around Minneapolis. So Minneapolis and Minnesota, they're not prepared for this kind of weather, this kind of air quality. In fact, I'm not sure that anybody's prepared for this kind of air quality. And so we have to watch out. People with lung disease or heart disease. So if you are elderly or you have some infirmity, then you are particularly susceptible to this. And there's another group beyond the elderly that we have to watch out for. It's the children. The children who love to play outside and have games and run around. Have to be particularly cautious in this situation. Because staying out there and playing and exerting yourself is a dangerous activity when the air quality is what it is in Minnesota right now because of these Canadian wildfires. So I don't know how the people in Minnesota can possibly cope with this. This is like something where you can definitely go inside and avoid. And you do have to go to work possibly and go outside or go shopping or doing something like that. And you have this nasty cloud of evil air hanging over your head. I don't know how people can survive that thing very easily. I mean, you can tell them what to do, but the facts of life are such that people have things to do and they will do them. And then there are those who don't consider themselves in those unhealthy categories, and they're going to do some really stupid things that shouldn't be done almost under any conditions, but they'll do it. And then there's always a group of people who are the naysayers, and they won't do anything that they should do because nobody can tell them what they do because they believe they have rights. So there's always a group of those people to contend with too. And then the hospitals will overflow. Right now that hasn't happened yet, but this is a severe warning. This air, this purple air is continuing to come down. And there's no guarantee when these wildfires, these 237 wildfires, are going to be put out. Because when I heard the number 237 wildfires, I was shocked. This is a situation that is so bad that the mayor of Yellowknife, which is the capital of those Northwest Territories, issued a local state of emergency, followed by an evacuation order for some areas as the fires approached. And he gave the names of cities that I never heard of, but they are under evacuation orders. And Northwest Territory officials said that they have to get out. There's no reason for them to stay behind. And if you saw the pictures that I opened this rant with the red sky, and the burnings all around them, and the line of cars trying to escape. This is no little inky-dinky thing. This is a major, major catastrophe. And there are any residents who live not far from those fires. And they are at high risk and should evacuate as soon as possible. And other residents have been ordered to get out of town by today, by Friday, August 18th. And I don't know what the penalty is if you don't evacuate. But you're putting your life on the line, right? You're putting your life on the line and the life of your family on the line. So I would take this thing very seriously. But I don't know what I would do if I was caught in this situation. I got a house full of stuff. What do you say? What do you grab first on the way out besides your wife and children or your grandparents or whoever else is there? What else do you grab? How many things can you carry out of the house in a hurry? Not much. So when you look at this situation, it's a disaster. Now maybe the fire won't get to those houses, but sticking around and breathing that vile air is going to kill plenty of people, or at the very least make them very much more unhealthy. And then they closed some of the roads that you had to get out, used to get out of town because the fires were surrounding those roads. So it's a disaster. It's a disaster, and I don't think anybody is prepared for this type of disaster. This is a thing, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, maybe. Although Canada has a lot of open space, so maybe it's not a once-in-a-lifetime thing. But it may be a once-in-a-lifetime thing for the people in Minnesota, because if they don't get out and they die, that's their once-in-a-lifetime shot. So another form of Mother Nature's power. Have a great day. Bye.